Hello interpreters, this is Marty. Today I'm going to show you how I set up my Zoom interpreting meetings with Cymo Note on the same Mac device. If you're using Windows, please refer to this video on the upper right hand corner for the tutorial for Windows PCs. Now before we start, if you haven't installed Cymo Note and Cymo Audio Driver on your Mac, here's the link again on the upper right hand corner for the step-by-step installation guide for your Mac. If you missed the link, don't worry, I've included them in the description below this video. Let's get started. Now the first thing to do is to open up Cymo Volume Controller, and it should be in your Launchpad. There it is, right there. And it should open up a small icon up here that looks like your normal speaker icon. Now for some reason my volume is turned way down. I'm going to take it up, but don't take it to max like what I'm doing here. And select the devices that you've set up in the Cymo Audio Driver installation guide. And mine is right here, the multi-output AG06. This one is the one that helps me divert the sound to both my headset and Cymo virtual cable. Now for some reason my volume keeps getting dropped, so I'm going to bring it up a notch just to make sure that Cymo virtual cable can hear the sound. And the next step for us is to make sure that the input device source is correct. And the way we designed Cymo Volume Controller is that we have a shortcut for you to access that information. It's right here, Sound Preferences. Click that, and it'll take you directly into the input. And you can see that it is set to AG06, and you can see down here that my sound volume is working correctly. Okay, that's it. And we are ready to go into our Zoom meeting and have its sound sent to Cymo Note so it can help us dictate. Now I have a meeting already set up on my other laptop, so we can just follow our normal workflow when joining a client's Zoom meeting. Join. And the only thing you want to double check and be cognizant of is the microphone and speaker sources. It should usually be set correctly, but you just want to be sure. And the way to do this is that you see the little caret on top of this microphone button right here. You click it, and you want to make sure that the microphone and the speaker is both set to same as system. And with that, we are ready to launch Cymo Note. Let me find it on my Launchpad. It's going to open and just step through the on-screen directions. Click Continue. You want to select System Audio right here, unless you're on site. And if you use Cymo Audio Driver, it's going to say that it is detected. Click Continue and refer to that video on how to install Cymo Audio Driver. And the next one, it just says there's a play button down below, and that means start recognizing. Okay, and the way I like to do this is I like to collapse it down here. You can resize and shape the layout as you like, but it just reminds me of a subtitle. So we're starting to dictate. I'm going to play the video on my other laptop.
Over the next 2 decades, and it is the best we know. So we are currently,
and we see that it's dictating
the impacts of
smoothly,
climate change
functioning
at
correctly.
1.1 to 1.2 Celsius above pre-industrial levels.
And we see
And
the number highlighting.
Global average surface temperature will cross 1.5 Celsius
that's
in
how we
less
do
than
it.
10 years.
And once you're done with your
The
meeting,
World Meteorological
this is the
Organization
pause button.
estimates that we have a likely as not chance of crossing 1.5 at least
And
temporarily
I'm going
in
to
the
let it
next
run a
4
little bit
years.
more.
And crossing this 1.5
See it in action.
threshold is very significant.
But okay, I'm going to turn it off. Clicking the pause. I'm going to turn off this video. And this is the end of our meeting. And now, once you finish your meeting, it is time to tear down the setup. And it is just like when the technicians strike the interpreting booth after an on-site event. First things first, we want to make sure that Cymo Note is turned off so you won't be wasting any credits. And we're ready to turn it off. We're going to close it out. Say bye to everyone, all of our audiences, leave the meeting. And we also want to close out Cymo Volume Controller, which is up here. And depending on whether you set it up as default, you might not have to. We're going to quit Cymo Volume Controller and go to your default sound system setup and go back to whatever default setting you like. Mine is internal speakers. And that is it. That is how we use Cymo Note with a Zoom meeting to serve our clients. And with that, you are now a tech-savvy interpreter. Now, a little bit of notes that if you are like me and you have multiple setups, I recommend building multi-output device for each of your different setups. And you can see here in the audio MIDI control setup, I have multiple multi-output devices. And the one that I prefer is AG06, but if I can't carry my big microphones and my mixer, I use the plug and play one just above it. But this is the recommended way if you have multiple setups like me. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. If you have any questions, reach out to me directly.